As you can see over here, that park goes, pretty far through, and it's a nice, would have been a nice park, but the situation's kind of crazy. Just read an Inman article that said the housing market was slowing down, and the one thing I have to ask you guys is, do you think the market slows down when it's been going up 20% month after month for 2 straight years? The question isn't whether the market's slowing down. The question is how many days on the market are properties staying on the market, right? Inventory's still up. Properties are still staying on the market for less than 3 weeks. And a balanced market is 6 months. So are we really in a bubble? Or are we just in a situation where people are starting to decide when enough is enough? At this point, prices are probably going to start, getting more within reason. If you list a house, it's probably not going to sell for 20% above ask. It's probably going to be closer to ask. And that's just the market. People are starting to get a little bit apprehensive as the rates are going back up. But in 2018, this was the rate. So the rates went way down. COVID got people real scared, and they left the job. They're putting priorities on buying their dream home. So the question really isn't, are prices so high that nobody's going to buy? The real question is, do you want to go out and buy your dream home, right? Why spend money on something unless you really want it? It's going to improve your life a lot. So, you can look out here and decide, do you want to live in Sausalito and have a beautiful view? Do you want to have a house that has an awesome office, possibly with this view? Do you want to live in, Nevada where you got a pool, or maybe somewhere in Santa Rosa where you've got, all the bicycling and places you can go, hiking up in Annandale State Park? Do you want to be out in Placerville? You're close to the mountains. You can go out and ski. You can do a bunch of stuff out in, Tahoe. The question isn't, are prices getting so high you don't want to buy? The question is what kind of lifestyle do you want to live, right? Spend your money on where you're treated best. If you're looking for an investment, then California in general probably is going to give you a reasonable 3.5 cap, right? Every commercial opportunity out there is going to take some management. Owning a house takes just a little bit of management. So you get what you want, right? Houses in California have a compressed cap rate. You're not going to get a huge return on your investment, but you're going to get some good tax benefits. Potentially, if you rent it out especially, you can do things like the Augusta rule. So Augusta, Georgia, they have a big golf tournament. You got 14 days you can use to find out local rents and throw a party for all your employees and stuff, and then write it off. So, owning a house is about a lifestyle. People that get too bent out of shape with what they're going to pay really need to consider the 30-year term in which they're going to get the mortgage and figure out, for the lifestyle cost, am I buying the right thing? I bet the answer is always going to be yes. You're buying freedom, you're buying lifestyle. You can build it however you want it, upgrade it however you want it, take care of it the way you want it. You don't have to call the landlord to get something fixed. You just go to Home Depot or call somebody. And if you guys need somebody to come and do a job, you need some referrals, I've always got a huge list, and I'll help you guys out. If I don't have the guy, we'll call around. We'll find you the guy. That's the least of your concerns, right? Especially now when contractors are so busy. But what do you think? Redfin, the CEO, saying that probably the market's going to stay exactly the same for the next year. He's seeing that interest rates are going to have a little difference on the price expectations, but otherwise, there's people that are high equity homes. There's people that are in the elder community that are downsizing. So if you're one of those people, reach out. I'd love to help you out. If you're looking to help your parents downsize and trying to figure out where they're going to be moving to next, reach out. My number's 408-222-0632. I'd love to help you find the resources you need. We've got them all. I actually just got my senior real estate specialist certificate, which kind of opened my eyes. I was really surprised how many federal Medicaid related programs there are. So if you're trying to sort out your financial details, we've got some good guys that help you out with that. Accountants, financial planners. They've even got some people with Medicaid and PACE that can help you guys figure that out if you're needing things like that. But if you're trying to get some things figured out, reach out. We'd love to help you out. And I don't think the market's going anywhere. I think that the market's going to keep on cruising, and just the rapid rate of growth may kind of stave off. But it's still a good buy, still a good time, and inflation is the best time to buy real estate. even if it's not commercial investments, you're still going to do well, right? 2.5 to 3.5 cap in California. I can't speak for other places, but for sure in Marin County that's the case. So my name is Jeff, 222-0632, and I'd love to help you out find your next dream home. What are the pros and cons of living in Sausalito? I'll give you 10 pros and 10 cons, and we'll see what you think about the neighborhood. Basically at the top of Marin City, which is technically Sausalito, there's a trail at the top of Headlands Court. At the top of Donahue, just above Headlands Court. And so there's 3 sets of condos that go all the way up the hill, and then you get into the federal park. So the cool thing is that you've got trails that are endless, right? It's a pretty beautiful park when it's a good, nice sunny day. The con is that most of the time it's pretty foggy and cold and extremely windy. So that trail system is, you definitely have to plan it out. If you just go from one side of Sausalito to the other, it's probably a couple hours, maybe a 2-hour walk from one side to the other. It's not too bad. But if you're actually going to make a trek out further out into the park system, it's pretty rough. So that's definitely a huge negative, is that a lot of times it's really cold and it's kind of hard to dress correctly, because it can be 55, it can be 70, it can be 85, it can be 90, it can be a lot of different things, and it can be 85 and 55 at the same time, because you can get into the coastal fog from the sunny part of Sausalito. So that's definitely a con, is that you never know what the weather's going to be like until you go out and see what the weather's going to be like. So our next con is going to be the tennis courts. So over by the school, behind Molly Stone's, you get into the trails back to Bay Model and all that stuff. There's kind of a war between the anchor outs and the Coast Guard, or the water, whoever patrols the water. And it's kind of an unfortunate situation, because it's basically like homeless camps, right? You've got kind of people that are living in kind of, run down boats or whatever out in the water, getting a red tag just like a house. If it's not going to be, following the rules, and it's anchored out too long and they're not seaworthy, then they try and, red tag them and then pull them in and destroy them. The crazier part, though, is that the people who are getting their house destroyed literally are sitting in the park next to the place that destroys their house, or their boat in this case. And it's just a really, really weird situation. So we're going to go by there real quick, and I'll kind of show you what's up. I tried to go take somebody there, a couple people, to play tennis one day, and there's basically just tents all over the tennis court. It's kind of crazy. So we'll go by and check that out, and you can see what I mean by it's a pretty big con. So there's only 2 courts here in Sausalito that I'm aware of. The other one's over by a school, and there's just a lot of people there, so we end up going to Tiburon or other places, Strawberry, stuff like that. But yeah, it's a local tennis court, and we could play, and there's usually nobody there because it's kind of cold, which is kind of nice when you play tennis because you're hot. So there's it's a benefit, but it's also can be kind of a drag. You gotta dress for Sausalito when it's bad weather. It can be pretty hot. So over here is the park. That's where the tennis courts are, and then if you come over here,